Good afternoon. My name is Raymond Hewlett. I am here to interview my mother, the esteemed and illustrious Dr. Patricia T. President of Women Thrive Worldwide. This is for the Huffington Post series called Talk to Me. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Raymond.
How are you?
I'm good. You're really good at this interviewer thing.
Thank you. Flattery will get you everywhere.
Good.
So first question, what's it meant to you to have been a champion for women's rights and the mother of a son?
Well, I think that for me, I really believe that we are all here to do good. And so part of doing good for me, I think, in my calling is to promote women's rights and gender equality. In my work, I sort of have selected it, as a vocation, because it's something that speaks to me personally, as well as something that I think makes a difference or will make a difference in social relations that we see at home and around the world. I also feel that promoting women's rights is not only about women, it really is about women and men. Mm. And so being a champion for women's rights and being a mother of a son, to me are pretty much the same things in one sense, I don't know if you get what I mean. In that it's about really ensuring that we all are able to become our best selves. We're all able to become our best selves. And that when we do that, we're actually doing the best good that we can do.
That was a very eloquent and detailed response. Number two, second question. Who's your favorite son?
Raymond.
All right, that's the right answer. Number two, tell me what's been the happiest moment in your career and the happiest moment in your life.
Well, I think there've actually been lots of moments of happiness, which is a great thing. It's actually a blessing to be able to have many moments of happiness, right? But I think two moments in my career that really stick with me. One, you remember when we both worked at an international development organization together, and I had to go to Afghanistan to deal with some issues in the office. And after I addressed those issues, all of the female Afghan staff said to me afterwards, Pat, you have shown us today that women have power. And I got to tell you, that was one of the most significant moments in my career for me to be working in international development, to be promoting women's rights and gender equality, and to have women, Afghan women staff say to me that, the work that you did here in these past couple of days really show us that women have power and that we can be powerful. I mean, that was just, I was really humbled, by that. I think another moment in my career that was a really happy day was when I went to visit our program in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And the women who, survivors of the conflict there, were told that, the head of programs from Washington, D.C. is coming, And chances are they assumed that woman was going to be, a white American woman, And then I come and I look just like them, and they were elated. They was like, my sister, And it was like, I realized in that moment what it means to be a role model, and how important that is, for many women of color around the world. To see someone like myself as a professional who, not just an activist, but also someone who this is their career and they're doing this important work. And it says to them, I could do that too, And so those were two moments. On the personal side, for me, the happiest moments, and they have been many of them, and you've been there, is when the extended family all gets together around a table with lots of food during the holidays, to be together. I don't think there's anything more joyful than that.
Okay. Next question is actually, if you had to choose one role model for me, who would it be and why?
You know, I'm going to tell you what if I were going to choose a role model for you, I think I'd want to choose a woman. And I'd want to choose a woman because I feel like it's really powerful for us to be able to not only have role models who look like us, but role models who don't look like us. So, like for me, Kofi Annan is a role model. I'd love to be like Kofi Annan and be Secretary General of the UN, and I mean, there are lots of, we're very different people, and he's a male and I'm a female, whatever. So I think I'm going to choose a female for you for that same reason. And
You're gonna choose yourself?
I could choose myself.
That's what I thought you were going with it.
No, that's a good one.
Because if you asked me that
one.
question, I would pick myself.
You would pick you see? I should be just like you when I grow up. No, that's a really good one. No, actually, you know what I was thinking? I was thinking that I would choose Mary Matilda Henry for you.
Your grandmother.
Your great-grandmother.
My great-grandmother.
Yeah. Because, she was more than a grandmother to me. I mean, she really was like a mentor, as well, and she encouraged me to get my education. She encouraged me to go out there and become somebody bigger than the somebody I already was, and she believed that I could do that. There was like never a doubt in her mind, and she felt that I was special, and we always joked about how she never let me go outside to play because she didn't want me to, be corrupted by, the other kids in the housing project in the islands, but that's because she really believed that I could do something bigger, and she wanted to be sure that, I had all of the positive influences around me so that I wouldn't stray from this path that, she could see. And I think that, she's the kind of role model that you should have as well, because all young people should have a role model like that, someone who believes in them, someone who sees the incredible potential inside, and someone who really, supports you and encourages you to live that and to realize it.
Okay, next question. You've been an advocate for gender equality for 25 years. What's the hardest challenge you faced in your career?
The hardest challenge I faced in my career, promoting gender equality, I think that the major stumbling block that we continue to have are the cultural and traditional norms and roles that are assigned to women and men around the world that are stereotypical, that are restrictive and oppressive. And even though it's 2016 and women have come a long way, we still have, even in the most developed countries, perspectives and attitudes that restrict, the rights and roles and responsibilities that men and women, or women and men, can have in society. And even as we do programming in countries on, education or, health or agriculture, economic growth, we still have these stumbling blocks. And even here in the US, as much as we have advanced as women, I mean, there's still all of these expectations about who I should be, even as a professional woman, vis-a-vis, what a professional man, can and should or cannot or cannot do. I mean, we are at the precipice of perhaps having the first woman elected, president, but there's still lots of people who feel that women can't lead or women shouldn't lead, for instance, which is problematic because I want to run for president. And so, I think that's the most difficult piece. That it is really, it takes a long time, for people's perspectives and beliefs and relations on the gender front to change.
How do you face that challenge when things are so ingrained in people, in men and in women? Mm-hmm. Like if both groups feel like this is a societal norm, what do you mean it should change? What if there are women who feel like, well, this is the way it is, why would I want to change it? How do you go about, I don't know, broadening their horizon?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And, some of the things that I've noticed in the work that we've done is that, when you talk to men sometimes in different communities, both here in the US and overseas, and you talk about gender roles, and particularly when men are fathers and they have daughters, it's so interesting because their perspective about what their daughters should be able to do is very different than what they would tell you they think their wives should do or can or shouldn't do, and what they think, say, their mothers or their aunts or their grandmothers should do, right? And so you find that a lot of fathers will say to you, my daughter can't do anything. She can be in the military, she can fly a plane, she could be an astronaut, she could run for office, and my daughter should have the same opportunities as any, young man, in the country or the community. But then when you start to talk to them about what the roles of their wives should be, for instance, or their partner, their female partner, then they're like, I want to be able to have that subordinate role in the relationship because I'm the man. So, I do feel that they are these opportunities for roles to be transformed. I used to be on the board of directors for the Afghan Women's Writing Project, and, a lot of the young women that were writing, as they were writing their stories and writing their poems and writing their prose, they would talk about their fathers and how their fathers were the ones in their family that really opened up the space for them to go to school, for them to finish school, for them to not be married early, but for them to be able to, live up to the dreams and the potential that they had, for their own lives. So I think that that's where we're beginning to see change, right? Is that, even if the gender roles are very immovable, for the parental generation, they are opportunities for those to be different for the next generation. Yeah.
That's interesting. Next question that's actually on here. What do you wish more men in the world knew?
I wish that more men in the world knew that, gender equality and the achievement of gender equality is not a zero-sum game. And that, getting to gender equality is about, empowering both women and men.
Last question. Mm-hmm. This is what everyone's been waiting for.
Okay.
What is the biggest lesson you'd like to pass on to future generations?
Sure, that's an easy one for me. I mean, couple of things. I want young people to know that the good things that they do matter. Which comes back to, I guess, the first question you asked, where, I'm sort of saying that I really think that we're here to do good. I also want young people to know that they can change the world. And that I think that you have a responsibility to change the world. One of the things that I look at, working here at Women Thrive Worldwide, we have this Alliance for Women's Solutions. That's like over 200 women's groups and civil society, organizations that are working to promote women's rights and gender equality and sustainable development in the communities where they work in 50 countries, right? And many the leaders of those organizations are young men and young women. Some of them are younger than you. Yeah. And they are completely committed to transforming the communities and the men and women that they serve in those communities. And they see it as a responsibility. They also believe that they can make a difference, that they will make a difference, and they do make a difference, every day. And so my advice, to young people around the world, you can make a difference, you can change the world, and it's your responsibility to do so.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Dr. Patricia T. Morris, and she approves that message. Thank
That's
you very
right,
much.
because I'm going to run for president.
There you go. Top. I'm going to be head of security. See you next week, same time on Huffington Post Talk to Me. Good night and good luck.